On the very step there, I thought it was going to come to my face. That'd be fantastic. Hello, my name's Connor. I'm 30 years old. And the past 4 years I've lived in Aberdeen, and also coming up for 5 years I've been teetotal. Please don't applaud, it's really embarrassing. People applaud me, not be drinking for 5 years. Thank you. The way to deal with that was to smoke excessive amounts of marijuana. I don't recommend it. It's not financially viable at the same time. It's also a lot of fun. I had a few blackouts when I decided to stop drinking. Mostly when I was going to Alton Towers with a few friends a few years ago. We packed up a shitload of booze into a roller case. We had loads of individual gin bottles for like our imaginary optics that we had at the place. We put this tight, massive suitcase into the back of a tiny hatchback, and there's 5 of us in the back of it like fucking sardines. And then we leave Arbroath, which is fantastic in itself, at 1 o'clock in the morning to drive down to Alton Towers in the middle of England. So what a fucking fantastic idea. I smoke a massive joint and then have a few cans on the way down. And in the car, while annoying my best friend's girlfriend at the time, who hated me because I seemed to always arrive at her flat smelling like Bob Marley's favourite cardigan. And then while we're driving down, I'm annoying her by asking for Brockhampton songs on repeat, and then the Pina Colada song on repeat as well. We decided to take a stop in Abington service stations. I think everyone in Scotland at some point has had an encounter with the Abington services or the Gretna Green. And because it was like 4 in the morning or something, it's like completely dead. There's no one there apart from staff. Everyone splits off to like get peas and snacks and whatever. So I'm like, cool, got 5 minutes. Pop outside, have another smoke, have a great night, take in the skyline. And then I walk back in, sit everyone in front of Starbucks with everyone else. And I take a seat and sit and go, what the fuck is a tea latte? And then I black out. My friend backhands me straight into the face, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And then I projectile vomit all over myself. And this fantastic Converse that I recently bought for myself just like a week prior for going to Alton Towers. So I have to, just after being backhanded and then just coming to that I'm just now covered in sick, and then as something that's dawned on me afterwards is the fact that I've also pissed myself. So I swander off to the bathroom really solemnly and then start tearing toilet paper out of the wall and then patting myself down like I'm fucking on fire because I'm an embarrassment of a person. And my best friend Craig's walking around behind me just pacing constantly going, you're a fucking idiot, you're a fucking idiot, you're a fucking... I'm like, I know. And also, while I was acknowledging my idiotness on this point as well, I know dawned on me when I looked at my bag, I had only 1 pair of trousers with me for the rest of the 3 days that we were also going to Alton Towers. So we very fortunately get into the back of the car, and it's taken on a very solemn, if not pish-tinged ambience. And it's now a bit less fun than it was on the initial way down. There was a second, the month after that, I will return back to the Alton Towers story. I go to a festival called Download, quite a lot, big metal festival. It's great fun. I go with a lot of friends, we see a lot of bands as well. I also smoke quite a lot at the same time and have a lot of drinks. I have just taken the piss of it too often too many times. But the last time I did drink, I took with me a 2.5 litre keg of dark fruits, which is mostly sugar. And I was mostly drinking that and drinking some gin as well for the evening, having a great time, and then I decided to go for a pee. Now, while I'm over at the fence having a pee, no one can see me, because it's fine and no one gives a shit, it's Download, I can pee against the fence if I want to, my furry coat and everything. And then as I zip back up and put my penis back into my trousers, my friend who was not there is adamant that my dick was out the entire time. So I crumple into heat after zipping up and black out again, and it dawned on me that I should probably stop drinking so much, and not the smoking one that came a few years later. And as I slowly walk back to the camp, this is when the arena security guard who noticed me black out by the fence has decided to come and walk over, and then very quietly goes, "Are you alright, mate?" And I go, "Ah!" Fall to the floor, and that's when my entire camp decides to turn around and look at me as I just slowly put myself back again. They're like, "Are you alright?" I'm like, "Yeah, just blacked out," and yeah, I just fell over again. I'm gonna go sit over here and smoke for a bit, thanks. And then later on, at the same festival, I was seeing a band at the head. It was a headliner band, it was Tool, and I had been waiting ages to see them. And as I'm in the crowd, dead centre by the barricade, there's like a long run up into the stage, I very highly realised that I need to pee. And now there's 80,000 metalheads who've been there for 5 days straight, who are all fucking stinking. And the toilets are 3 miles away, as far as I'm aware in my head. They're not really. But I am not going to budge out of this and make it back in time or find my friends. But I have a light bulb moment. I have a 500ml bottle. It's almost empty. So I very covertly, while my friends are beside me, sneak the bottle up the inside of my shorts and start to pee into it. Very quickly, I start panicking, going, this is not going to work out, and I just drop it. I am covered in pee, I'm wearing leopard print shorts and another fur coat, and I am absolutely drenched. But at the same time, I'm like, I couldn't have fucking went anywhere. They're playing Jambi! I am not moving! So I will gladly take this on board and hopefully use it in stand-up a few years later on, so yeah, that's worked out quite well. And my English mate that was with me as well didn't smoke a lot, but was taking a lot of blunt hits at the time, and just looked at me, and because he's English, I said, I'll piss myself. He starts pissing himself too. So I've got a bit of unity there. I had a very close call when I was with another group of friends from the Download team. I went to Manchester a few years ago to see Enter Shikari. They were being supported by the Wonder Years, and they were playing in Victoria Warehouse. We had dinner beforehand, it was great and everything, and I get there and I'm in the queue. I am again bursting for a pee. There's a bit of a theme here. And as I'm bursting for this pee, I am trying to think of everything that is not going to induce me pissing myself in front of everyone in this queue. And then after 10 minutes, very gently get through the queue and try to bum rush the front door to try and get as close to the toilet as I can. And as I get to like these big walls, there is a trough right at the front. So I make a fucking beeline for it like a pig at feeding time. Just out and then pissing straight away. And then this guy walks up next to me and presses a tap and starts washing his hands. And he's like, you know this is a sink, right? Well, I do now. I unfortunately also had a very bad incident where I pissed myself at work, which is never great, it never works out well. But thankfully no one knew about it until I decided to do it, and I know stand up it. But it didn't work out well. I was in the work van. I did IT for an oil and gas company, and part of my job was I would get into the van, I would drive about, I'd pick up stuff, and I would take it back. And as I'm approaching the office one day after picking some stuff up, I need to pee. And as I'm getting into the office and park the car, I'm like just trying to very nonchalantly not look like I'm in a rush or panicking. And as I get down the elevator out into the main office bit and then wrap round into the visitors' toilets, I get to the urinal and then fumble, try to get my belt off of my incredibly tight, bright blue Zara skin tight fucking trousers, and I pee all down the side of my leg again. And then, thankfully, because this is a visitor toilet, I don't have to worry about anyone coming in. But someone did. A guy who's like 2 floors up, who I knew where his desk was, went down 3 floors to go to the other fucking toilets and found the table with everyone else. It's fair enough, I respect it. So I very awkwardly shuffle past him with my laptop bag to get out to the toilet, and then all the way back up the stairs to the van, so I can take the van and then go into Trinity Centre and go to Primark to buy another pair of trousers. So that looked exactly the same, so I can go back in and not worry about where I've been and not have to explain that I just pissed myself to my boss, who was really nice, and I'd only been there for like 6 months. So after pushing myself and spewing on myself and made myself a fucking embarrassment to my best friend, we get down to Alton Towers eventually. Our room isn't ready, so we have to like take everything that we have, well, most of our carry-on bags, into the park. And I very brazenly decided to not think, just in general, and took my bag in it, which had 4 incredibly tightly packed big joints. So after a little shuffle around the one pair of trousers I took with me, and like for some reason several pairs of boxers, I shuffled the joints underneath that, and then miraculously make it through security. And while I'm standing in the queue for a new ride that had opened up called the Wicker Man, I'm already white, because I've had the biggest whitey of my entire fucking career. And people are going, oh, that ride looks great. I'm not been on it yet. So we can go through the rest of the park. All the towers is actually a lot of fun. Not bigger roller coasters or rides in general, but it was a good time. And then we get back to our little chateau mushroom thing, which was really cute. And then I go out the back and have a joint and then fall asleep promptly because I am fucking destroyed as a person. And then the next morning, after going through the theme park again and having another good time, we get back to our chateau. And this is where my friend Craig puts his car key into the car and it doesn't work. Tries it again. Nothing. Tries it again. Nothing. Okay, give me the spirit beaker. Try again. Nothing. Like, okay, I'll go to the information center. You guys chill out here. Be a few minutes. So Craig then comes back a few minutes later and goes, "You come with me!" So I didn't need to guess who else he was speaking, addressing, so I just got up and walked along with him. And we get into the main office. One of the head representatives or one of the managers or something comes out and they're like, "Yeah, so can you come out with us, please? I'd like to have a word with you." And I'm like, "All right, fantastic, let's fucking do this." And she goes, "Yeah, so we found some illicit substances in your room. You know this is a child-friendly park. We don't want any kids being aware of illegal substances." I'm like, "I'm not going to fucking share. What a waste of weed that would be. Like, I've got 3 joints. What, am I make a fucking killing here? Like I'm Pablo Escobar or something?" It's just like, "Well, we don't want to have to phone the police." "What makes you think I want the fucking police out here as well?" It's like, so we might have to consider a ban for some of them, and Craig, who was laughing about most of this, who's a big fan of Alton Towers, is now shitting himself because he's worried about one of his favourite things becoming suddenly unavailable because I decided to have a smoke. And I was just like, "Okay, so what we're going to consider here is £100 fine." I'm like, "Okay, fantastic, get me the fuck out of here, like, I'll go back into the room." So I've also noticed you've got a lot of alcohol in your room, and me and Craig just take a second and like, "We're Scottish." So yeah, it's like, "Okay, that's fine, but yeah, come through it." And then the entire staff are standing behind the desk while I pay my £100 fine for trying to have a good weekend. And they're all laughing. And I do not think that my confiscated contraband that was discarded, I'm pretty sure someone had a very good fucking night that night. So as I get back to my office, I get back to work on the Monday after, and it's like, "Connor, where have you been? How was Alton Towers?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was alright. Do any of you know what the fuck a latte is?" My name is Connor. I'll hopefully see you next month. Take care.